What happens when your own body quietly starts stealing your independence? I remember the exact moment the fear really hit me. I was just trying to carry a couple of bags of groceries up the front steps, and my arms were literally shaking. My legs felt incredibly heavy, almost like lead, and this terrifying thought just crept in. Am I losing my freedom? Look, if you're over 60, muscle loss isn't just about vanity, right? It's about that quiet fear of falls, the loss of balance, and the total dread of having to rely on others for basic tasks. But what if I told you there's a hidden $1 solution sitting right there in your local grocery store? Something that rebuilds aging muscle way faster and honestly better than those expensive supplements. We're going to keep the exact food under wraps for just a minute, because understanding exactly why it works is going to give you your hope back and totally change how you look at nutrition forever. Welcome to this explainer, Men Over 60, the surprising dairy food that rebuilds aging muscles.
What happens when the stairs suddenly feel like a mountain? Okay, let's dive into this. Because when I first started feeling weak, everybody told me to just buy those huge, chunky protein powders. So I dropped an absolute fortune on massive tubs of the stuff. I was chugging these heavy, chalky shakes every single day, and guess what? I didn't feel any stronger at all. Popping open a simple jar was still a major struggle. It was totally bogus, just money down the drain. The reality is, our bodies just don't process isolated, heavily processed powders the same way a 20-something gym bro does.
So let's talk about the medical reality of what's actually happening under the hood here. We're dealing with something called sarcopenia. Now, in plain English, sarcopenia is the age-related loss of skeletal muscle mass, quality, and strength. Think of it kind of like your body's muscle bank account being slowly, quietly drained. And this process silently accelerates right after we hit age 60. It's the real thief threatening our daily freedom, making us tire out way faster than we ever used to.
But the real danger we face actually goes a layer deeper. Because we're not just losing muscle size, which is the sarcopenia part, we're dealing with its evil twin, dynapenia. Dynapenia is the actual loss of functional muscle strength. And here's the wild part. Studies show that the loss of your physical strength is actually 2 to 5 times greater than the loss of your muscle size. So even if your arms look exactly the same in the mirror, the internal power is fading away. Dynapenia is the actual culprit behind those dangerous, life-altering faults.
So why didn't those expensive protein powders fix the problem for me? Well, it all comes down to absorption. As we get older, our digestive systems get a little sluggish. They really struggle to absorb isolated protein supplements because those powders are missing the natural food matrix. The food matrix is basically this perfect combination of natural fats, enzymes, and vitamins that tells our body exactly how to use the protein. Cheap, real whole foods have that matrix naturally built right in. That makes them highly bioavailable and way better for our gut health, all at a fraction of the cost.
Speaking of the gut, we absolutely have to talk about the gut-muscle axis. To put it simply, your gut directly communicates with your muscles, kind of like a biological superhighway. A healthy gut, loaded with probiotics and good bacteria, actually helps regulate muscle growth and gives you energy. But if your gut is inflamed or if you're drinking processed shakes it can't even break down, that protein is never reaching your biceps or your legs. Absorption matters so much more than just slamming raw protein into your stomach.
Which brings us to the magic number, $1. Clinical researchers were totally shocked when they found that seniors were rebuilding their functional strength significantly faster using simple whole foods that cost about $1 a serving. I mean, talk about serious bang for your buck. It's natural, recognizable nutrition that literally flips the aging switch right back on, without breaking the bank.
Before we hit the ultimate secret, I want to rapid fire through 3 non-dairy powerhouses that also cost pennies. Step 1, sardines. These little guys are absolutely loaded with omega-3s. A groundbreaking study actually showed seniors eating sardines improved their grip strength by an incredible 28% in just 2 months. No way, right? Step 2, black beans. They naturally spike IGF-1, which is a crucial muscle-building hormone. And step 3, lentils. Packed with a compound called spermidine that actually rejuvenates aging muscle cells right from the inside out.
So the million-dollar question is, how do we get this ultimate, highly bioavailable protein matrix into our aging bodies every single day? Well, the answer is backed by hard science. Clinical evidence points directly to dairy proteins. They are incredibly bioavailable and specifically stimulate skeletal muscle synthesis in the elderly. It's a top-tier, totally science-backed intervention for preventing undernutrition and reversing that muscle loss in aging bodies.
Which brings us to the big reveal. Section 1, the ultimate muscle medicine.
aged and cultured cheeses. Now, what's really interesting is that these specific cheeses aren't just some guilty pleasure you snack on during a football game. They're packed with bioactive compounds, live cultures, and specific amino acids that act as a complete game changer for cellular muscle regeneration. It's literally natural medicine for seniors. Take Parmesan, for example. Real aged Parmesan has one of the highest natural concentrations of leucine. That's the amino acid that acts like a physical light switch for muscle building. In clinical trials, just 5 grams of leucine from aged dairy like Parmesan boosted muscle protein synthesis by a staggering 38% compared to standard protein. That's a massive difference that translates to real-world, everyday strength.
Next up in our cheese arsenal is cottage cheese. This soft cheese is absolutely loaded with casein. Casein is a slow-digesting dairy protein, so eating a cup of cottage cheese about 30 to 60 minutes before bed provides this steady, overnight drip of amino acids and glutamine right into your bloodstream. While you're sleeping, it's actively repairing your muscles and supporting your immune system. It is literally an overnight recovery tool that works while you're catching some Z's. Then we have ricotta. If cottage cheese is your slow-release nightcap, ricotta is your fast-acting daytime booster, making some serious deposits right back into that muscle bank account we talked about earlier. It acts as a fast-acting whey protein source that spikes that IGF-1 hormone. Plus, it's loaded with easily absorbed calcium and phosphorus, which strengthens not just your muscle fibers, but the bone density surrounding your joints. And honestly, because it's so soft, it's super easy to chew and digest.
Let's compare 2 more heavy hitters. First, Swiss cheese. It's a fantastic source of CLA, that's conjugated linoleic acid, and it's naturally low in sodium, making it great for your heart and joints without spiking your blood pressure. Then we have aged Gouda. Properly aged Gouda is packed with vitamin K2 and butyrate, making it a super powerful anti-inflammatory. Both of these brilliantly support an aging metabolism, letting your body focus on building muscle instead of fighting off inflammation.
And we absolutely cannot forget aged cheddar. Real, sharp aged cheddar is a total powerhouse. It's loaded with high B vitamins that help your muscles produce energy efficiently. Even cooler, during the aging process, it develops natural peptides that combat insulin resistance and these amazing compounds called quesomorphins that naturally and safely reduce joint pain. It's pretty much an all-natural pain reliever and energy booster wrapped into one delicious slice.
Now let's see how this all builds into an unstoppable, life-changing routine. As clinical research highlights, when you do resistance exercises and then eat one of our muscle-building cheeses, within 2 hours, your muscles respond much more strongly. It's an incredible synergistic effect. Combining a simple daily serving of these $1 cheeses with some basic resistance training, like literally just getting up from a chair a few times or using a light resistance band, can genuinely restore youthful muscle function.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Will you let sarcopenia quietly steal your independence? Or will your next grocery trip completely change your life? It is time to take back control of your own story. Ditch those expensive, chalky powders that honestly aren't doing you any favors. Head down to the dairy aisle, grab some real Parmesan, some cottage cheese, or some aged Gouda, and start rebuilding your strength today. You've totally got this. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and here's to reclaiming your power.